Ladies and gentlemen, the black farmers are not getting the subsidies like white farmers are in this country. And this has been a consistent thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the USDA is part of the government. And this, as I said before, you know, they're telling us, to be successful. And then when you try to be successful, this is just another form of sabotaging. They're sabotaging these black farmers. So they don't get anything. And if you don't get anything, you can't maintain your farm and you end up losing everything. Now, black farmers have gone through hell and back in this country, and that's why they had to sue. They've had land stolen from them. They had bad seeds sold to them so they wouldn't have a good crop. And all through COVID, many of them have been applying for loans and subsidies and everything through the US government, and they just been ignored. Sabotage. So this came out on NBC News. USDA issued billions in subsidies this year. Black farmers are still waiting for their share. And that's exactly how they intended to be. The federal government is projected to issue record subsidies to farmers across America this year. The cash has been a boon to a significant part of President Donald Trump's rule base, particularly in the run up to the election next week. However, black farmers, whose numbers have been dwindling for generations for many reasons, say they have yet to see any big change to keep their farms afloat. In a few instances, some black farmers we know have been saved by COVID relief funds, said Angie Prevost, wife of June Prevost, whose family farm, he has a 5,000 acre sugarcane farm in Louisiana. They lost it in 2014 because of underfunding and because the federal loans did not arrive soon enough. Sabotage. Their experience is part of a larger documented form of discrimination. Yes. The bailout should be called a buyout for votes. Not that the farmers need them, she said. Trump engaged in a trade war with China in 2018, and his administration created a subsidy program. And that was to take care of any farmer losses. Retaliatory tariffs by China, natural disaster, and pandemics have dealt big blows to nearly all of the country's agriculture exports. This year alone, the subsidies are estimated to reach a record of $46 billion. Wow. According to the New York Times, black farmers say this level of aid has passed them by, not just in 2020, but also historically. And they're right about that. We have lived under economic terrorism for decades. A Georgia farmer, Eddie Slaughter, one of the hundreds of black farmers whose land is in foreclosure because of documented racist practices by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. More sabotage. John Boyd of Bakersville, Virginia, founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association, which has 116,000 members in 42 states. The money went predominantly to white farmers and large commercial farmers. In 2019, The Counter, a nonprofit news organization focused on food and agriculture, reported that 99% of the subsidies provided to farmers linked to the trade war with China went to white farmers. Boyd raised cattle and grows corn, wheat, and soybeans. Called Trump's trade war on China devastating. The administration decided they would take on China and didn't open up any other markets for farmers. Something that would have been common sense to me, Boyd said. We're not dealing with people with common sense who blamed the arrogance of the president. Even though a majority of farmers voted for Trump, Boyd said, I didn't and I won't. And I don't think many other Black farmers will. In 1920, there were almost a million Black farmers. Today, there are fewer than 50,000, according to a 2017 USDA report. Wow. Researchers Zoe Willingham and Abril Castro of the think tank for the Center for American Progress wrote that agriculture in the US is a prime example of the way structural racism has robbed Black farmers out of the opportunities to build wealth. That's all through sabotage. See, this is why I don't let these people come and write in my comment section that we don't try and we're lazy and we don't do this and we're not applying ourselves and we're not proving ourselves. I just erase all that mess. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, even they know that shit ain't true. They know their people have been sitting around sabotaging us this whole time. And the ones that try to act like that's not what we did, they're full of crap too. Okay. This racism, they wrote, has contributed to the loss of more than 36 million acres of farmland between 1920 and 1978. Black farmers filed official complaints about mistreatment. They typically went ignored. After winning a class action lawsuit against the USDA in the late 1990s, they considered the creation of the Office of Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights at the USDA in 2003 an important victory. The Trump administration has left the position unfilled. More sabotage. Although there is an assistant secretary and a deputy secretary and an acting chief of staff for civil rights, meanwhile, Black farmers still have witness. Friends lose their homes and livelihood because agents at the Farm Home Administration or FHA or a USDA agency that ended in 2006 deny them privileges extended to whites. For years, it was documented that many agents didn't trust Black farmers. So instead of issuing them no strings attached checks, they only gave them managed accounts that required oversight by the FHA. And in other words, they got to always be involved in everything we do when we didn't even ask you for that. Okay. Nobody is checking you for that, but you feel inclined to do that. So what they were doing was handling these Black farmers like they're children. They can't manage money. Only white farmers can manage money. Black farmers, they can't. We have to just do it this way. We got to do it differently with you. And then at the same time, that same person is telling you we're all being treated the same when it's very obvious that is not the case. Wow. So they would not even give Black farmers the money. They managed the money for them. This is just BS. Consider the story of Slaughter, a Georgia farmer. Slaughter borrowed $265,000 from the USDA in 1986 to buy both my farm and irrigation and everything I needed to farm, he said. But the loan ruined Slaughter's credit. He couldn't borrow money. The farm went into foreclosure, and for the past 17 years, he has lived off the rent someone else pays him to farm his 200-acre land. He explained that when a white farmer goes to the local USDA office and is approved for a loan, The farmer gets a check and goes back to farming. When Black farmers are approved, the structure of loans they qualify for would require them to go to the bank with a county supervisor from the USDA who has to co-sign the loan, Slaughter said. That's bullshit. Oh, these people ain't no damn good. That then meant that whenever Slaughter needed money from his loan, he had to drive 60 miles to the local USDA office to get the county supervisor to sign a check for him, treating them like children, treating these grown men like children. Most Black farmers he knew had supervised accounts, he said, and white farmers did not. If I saw equipment I wanted to buy and it was on sale and I wanted to take advantage of that sale, the county supervisor would say, "You don't need it." Again, treating these grown men like children. Sabotage. Then what's the point in getting a loan and you can't get the things you need and somebody is sitting there as a middleman dictating to you what you should and should not do? The hell with that. That's not how any loan should go in this country. So typical. So typical, y'all. Slaughter said he believes one of the few Black farmers to receive money from the USDA during the Trump administration. The USDA did provide debt relief for Slaughter, but it barely helped. After 17 years in foreclosure, he was owned more in interest than the original principal for his farm loan. And to pay his debt, he said, the government garnished his Social Security checks. Wow. And tax funds for 9 years. Oh boy. See, this is why I pushed back when Jared Kushner came opening his big mouth talking about you don't want to be successful. We got a million stories of how we tried to do things and got sabotaged along the way. And you don't have to have a business to be sabotaged. Shit, the people at your job were sabotaging you. When you were trying to go to school and trying to get decent grades, you were being sabotaged then. See, it's not a coincidence that in all of these Black communities, the teachers are predominantly white. They have to be there to sabotage you. So this is just some BS. I hope the Black farmers can do something about this. It's really a travesty at this point. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.